Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to KraDeTalk. It's kind of a really lame segment that's kind of like a podcast type thing. Or I'm just going to be talking about just several different topics, usually going to be in the title. But this one's going to be focused around MapleStory, and I'm just going to like literally talk about the most random things that I like about it, hate about it, things that should change, and things that have to change. For MapleStory to be successful in the future, at least from my perspective and from just being a gamer and being a veteran player. I've been playing since 2005. So again, this is off script. I'm not reading off anything, I'm just talking. So one thing I want to address is Cash App, and I'm going to make a big video about this later, but Cash App needs to change. There's so many issues with it. Like, for example, my biggest issue, and this is like the smallest thing too, is that there's no permanent items that are like utilized these days. As far as I know, every Cash App item still expires in 90 days unless it says specifically like, you know, permanent pet, pay $10 for it, and then it never expires. But you know, then its item expires and you're like, oh my god. So you know, that's something that should be fixed. Like, I don't think there should be items that expire in 90 days. You might think that's still 3 months, that's a long time, but at the same time, okay, let's put together what a Cash App outfit, right? Normally the hat costs about 4K and X, the top costs about 3K, pants could be about, let's go cheap and say 2K, and then say gloves and then glasses, and it's gonna add up. So let's say maybe $20 for a whole outfit, you know, including cape and all that stuff. It expires in 3 months. Cool, right? You know, 3 months, $20 to get a new outfit later. Well, that $20 could have gone to other things. I think that if it was permanent, you know, up the price maybe by like 2K. Don't double the price. They used to have that where you would pay double the price and it would be a permanent item. But Nexon was losing money because everyone's already doing that because that's a good idea. It's like, hey, would you rather pay 6K and have it forever, or pay 3K and only have it for 3 months? It's like, of course I'm gonna want it for the longer period of time. You know, at least let me pay like double the price, but I don't know, I just don't think it's a good idea. Like, for example, look at League of Legends, where you pay, you know, let's say $5 to $10 for a skin. Obviously there's skins that cost more, but you keep it forever. They're not gonna take it back in 3 months. That's bullshit. It's just a stupid idea. But yeah, there's other games like Final Fantasy 14 where you can go on the MOG station, pay like $3 for an outfit, never expires. Like, that's a thing that Nexon needs to do. Nexon needs to address and just fix. And again, I'll make a more in-depth Cash App video, because I think that's like one thing that's holding MapleStory back, and it's causing a lot of players to get to 30, 40, look at Cash App and realize this game is gonna cost them money. You know, like, you're not gonna get to 200 without paying something at some point. You're gonna be like that $5. You're gonna be like that guy who's gonna be like, let me add $5 to $10. It's not gonna hurt anyone, but you're still putting money into it when you really shouldn't have in the first place. So you know, the other thing is obviously Miracle Cubes. They cost too much for what they are. You know, I think that they should cost maybe 100, maybe 200-ish. Like in the 100 zone, not in the 1,000 zone. Like maybe under $1, 50 cents, 75 cents, maybe $1, even 1,000 points. Let me explain why. It's holding a lot of players back. That's something that you guys kind of know. That's a big topic right now in MapleStory. Just in general, why people are quitting. You're level 210. Your range is in the 200k zone. You can't afford to put hundreds of dollars into cubes. It adds up very fast. You know, you don't want that 1 mil range, that 2 mil range, only because you spent $2,000, $3,000 on cubes. That's really stupid. And you know, that's kind of why I've been straying off buying an X. Like, I'll put in occasionally $5, maybe 10 if I need something. Like, hey, I need to get this auto skill for my pet, so I don't have to constantly do HS or whatever. And my friends, I can stay online, help my friends out with HS. Woo, awesome. I just think it's stupid that cubes cost too much, because there's so many people quitting the game just because cubes cost way too much. If cubes were, like I said, $1, maybe 50 cents, 500 NX. Can you guys imagine 500 NX for a cube? I'm not even talking about like the good cubes. I'm talking about like shitty cubes just to get your stuff to unique. I think that's good enough. I think even epic would be good for a lot of people. You know, you want at least 6% on per item. Like, that's kind of the average these days. Just have decent range, not even good range, just decent. Like, you want a solo Horntail? You need 200k range. You know, it's kind of like that. It's like, you're not going to be a new player, even if you're a new player who got to 250 without putting an X, How did you get the mesos? How are you gonna get items? Like, getting to 250 isn't hard anymore. Just train for a long period of time. The problem is bossing, because you can't go to Horntail, you can go to Chaos Pink Bean, you can't go to Chaos Horntail, you can't kill them. You could be 250, but your range could be 600k. You know, still, it's decent, but it's not good. So that's something that Nexon really needs to focus on. Finding a way to implement cubes in a better way. Because yes, we get them from boss drops. Man, I went on a boss run for 3 days now. You know how many cubes I got? 2. That's 3 days of killing over 30 bosses. That's so time consuming and stupid. You know, each boss run is going to take me about an hour to do all of them together. Maybe more, because some of them, you know, you need to invest more time, like Hard Mode Magnus. Those take a while. But I'm not going to spend, you know, all this time just to get 1 cube, possibly. And I'm not running alone, I have a friend with me. They want cubes as well. I'm not going to hold them back just because I want cubes. So it's like, just because maybe 6 drop, don't mean I'm going to get all 6. Unless my friend's nice enough, but even then I feel bad. So that's my little rant about Cash Shop. I have other things, like I said, but they're not too important. But yeah, it's mostly just like, items are still expiring, and it costs too much to get your character geared up. Because again, I gotta use League of Legends as an example, because I think it's kind of easy to do it with that one. It's like, you could buy runes with in-game money. They don't even give you the option to use real money. Like, I like that incentive. It's like, it gives you incentive to save the money in-game. You don't have to worry about, oh, I need to spend $10 to get this extra plus 1.8 attack. It's like, no. Same thing with Final Fantasy. There's not one reason why you even need to spend money besides the subscription service for it. I'm okay with paying $15 a month, $13, $12, whatever I pay. Because, you know, I get to play in freedom. I don't need to worry about, I need to spend $30 to get this good item. Because people keep saying like, oh, you know, I want to play Final Fantasy 14 because I have to pay monthly. But at the same time, you're not exactly spending any less on MapleStory if you're an NX user. Because you're probably spending way more NX in a month of MapleStory than you're ever going to spend on a subscription for Final Fantasy. But again, that's my little idea. You know, there's a lot of games that went pay to win recently. Terra kind of is taking that route, hopefully not further. But I kind of stopped playing Terra recently because Final Fantasy came into my life. And yeah. So that's my little rant about Cash Shop, but there's more to go, guys. Again, I'm not going to be bashing on MapleStory this entire time. There's going to be some good stuff later on, but that's going to be... Well, actually, let's talk about some good stuff about MapleStory. There's having the graphics interface changing soon in KMS. They're going through a whole revamp. Classes are going to get a revamp, and more than likely they're going to use the new UI, the new interface, the new graphic settings, the new graphical power, whatever. But it's starting to look a lot like Wonder King, and that's scaring me. I feel like they're pushing MapleStory into a direction it doesn't need to go. And again, there was no reason to have MapleStory 2. Not one reason. MapleStory is still doing okay. It's not doing amazing. It's not like how it was in like 2009, 2010. It's still doing good. It still has a good user base. But, you know, most of the user base kind of stopped using NX or found other ways to get NX, which is a problem for them. And MapleStory 2 isn't doing fantastically in Korea. Like, statistic-wise, it's doing okay. It's not much better than MapleStory 1. But, you know, you're trading off. Like, there's going to be players who quit MapleStory 1 for 2. And there's going to be people who play 2 and say this is garbage and go back to 1. So you're trading off some of your customers in MapleStory 1 for 2. And, again, it's a trade-off. You kind of win, you kind of lose. But, you know, again, MapleStory 2, it's not too bad right now for the pay to win aspect. It's just clothing again. I don't know if it expires. I didn't pay attention to that when I was playing. I'll probably check on that later, and maybe I'll add a comment or something, or maybe somebody knows. I don't know. It's more cosmetic in MapleStory 2 right now, which I think should stay. It should not go pay to win. That game has no reason to be pay to win. It is a 3D MMO. 3D MMOs rely more on what you're doing. It requires more skill than a 2D MMO. You need to be positioned right. You need to move right. You need to know where to go and where to fall. Blah blah blah. You know, and that's something that I straight off from MapleStory 1. But like I was saying, MapleStory 1 not doing too bad. Player base kind of died down because again, a lot of people found out it was way too pay to win. They can't handle it. Like, I don't want to play a game that I feel I need to spend real money to get a higher range. Obviously, I'm in a decent position with my friends who are very funded, who are willing to help me out, you know, boss runs and to get Maple rewards and all that stuff. But again, I'm wasting their time to improve myself. Like, there's no... they're friends, yes, obviously they're here to help you. But I feel bad. I'm that kind of guy who's like, you know, if you help me out, I want to do something in return, but I can't always. Like, if you're max range, how am I going to help you in Maple? Like, the most I could do is be the second person in your Root Abyss party. But yeah, like I said, graphics interface isn't bad, and the funding issue is pretty big. But bosses in this game are kind of taking a downhill turn. I think Root Abyss was amazing. I think it's still one of the best, if not the best update to come to MapleStory. 4 bosses, all 4 unique bosses at that. But they don't really require too much skill. Like, again, this is kind of what I was saying in the 3D portion. A 2D game, you can only go 2 ways, you know, left, right, and you know, you can go up and down, but not always. So let's take the Queen, right? I forgot the actual name for her, but the Queen boss in Root Abyss. You gotta just know, is she gonna do DR, is she gonna do a skill? That's it, and then you walk away, or you just don't attack. In a 3D game, you know, can you imagine the Queen in a 3D setting? I would love to see Root Abyss in MapleStory 2. It'd be so amazing to see it, and it works with the story as well. So just like imagine Queen in a 3D setting, and then you see just a portion of the map getting destroyed by her. You're gonna avoid that portion. That's amazing. That's a good way to do it. But again, that's just me. So my next issue, or I guess not really, is MapleStory is still a pretty nostalgic game. I'm not gonna say I hate the game. I love it. It's still good. I still like the nostalgia aspect of it. But I wish there was more focus on the 200 plus player who's not funded. You guys probably watch on Twitch or YouTube or whatever. There's a lot of people who are above 200 and they have like 2 training spots now. Stronghold and Black Heaven. And Black Heaven is not that good. It's okay, but it's not good. It's not a... what's the best way to put it? It's not a preferred map. The map is too big. You could fall off. There's way too many aspects that they attack too hard. You can't really get a party of 6 there too well. And Stronghold is just, there's a map. You fight left, right. That's it. And you get the XP. I mean, it's easy. So that's why a lot of people don't go to Black Heaven. And Nexon needs to 100%, Nexon Korea, Nexon America, focus on the 200 plus players. There's so much new content for those under 200. That's awesome. You know, get the new players in. But you can see that now that they have the 200 plus players hooked into the game, they know you're staying. Now they're trying to focus on the newer players who are like deciding on if they want to stay or not. Like that's what I think is happening. And it's like, yeah, you're gonna gain maybe 10 new players, but you're losing 2 of your more older players. It's not worth it. Because those older players are probably investing into the game more than the newer players. Can you really imagine that a new player just made an account today, gets to 140 in a week, is gonna really spend too much money on the game when an old player that's been around since like 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, even like from last year, is probably spending more money than a new player? I mean, yeah, you could probably think about it in the long run, but whatever. I mean, it's really an iffy subject, but this is more of a MapleStory rant type thing, and this is stuff that needs to get out and be addressed. Because if this is not being addressed, if nothing's being changed, if nothing's happening, people are gonna take notice and people are gonna do something about it. You could love MapleStory with all your heart, but you can't ignore these blatant problems of like having items expire, having miracle cubes be so much. Do you know how much a potential scroll is in Cash Shop? It's like 3.8k to get 100%. It's not... Why should I spend $4 when this is an in-game thing? This is an item that should be done. The potential score shouldn't be 70%, they should just be 100%, because that's just a normal thing nowadays. I mean, yeah, there's always events, and you could spend your time on events and get like 80 coins for 1 clean rate, that's 10%. I'm not saying make everything free, I'm not saying make everything easy now. I'm just saying make it fair. Having a clean rate that's 10% is, it's not bad, but can you really imagine a new player is who's scrolling their gear for the first time is gonna spend 50 mil on average for a clean slate? When a funded player who has 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, 50 bill mesos, whatever you guys say, you think they're not gonna, there's not a little bit of an issue there? Of course, yeah, there's merchants, there's blah blah blah. Alright, so no more ranting about MapleStory. Let's talk about MapleStory 2 for a little bit, and then I'm gonna talk about the good things about MapleStory, and things that it's doing right, and it should keep focusing on. Because again, I've been ranting for 15 minutes, and you guys should know, yes, this is gonna have a lot of ranting in the future. Gonna rant about League of Legends, Final Fantasy, Terra, whatever, Minecraft, whatever I'm gonna play in the future. This is just me talking. It has no specific topic. It could be MapleStory today, it could be Final Fantasy in a week. I'm not sure, this is not gonna be an every week thing, it's gonna be like once every few weeks or whatever. Anyways, MapleStory 2. Played it for a while when it released. Streamed it. A lot of it is on YouTube. So you guys can go check it out. And I was very honest while I was playing it, and near the end of me playing it, I got really tired of it. MapleStory 2 has a big issue, and it's something that I cannot stand. It has no story. It has a minor story and it has side quests. I don't care for side quest stories. They're interesting, but they're not going to keep me on for long. And again, I'm going to use Terra and Final Fantasy as an example, because they're in my opinion, they're probably one of the 2 best 3D MMOs. I can't really vouch for World of Warcraft. I played it for like 2 weeks and then quit, so I never really got too far into it. So that's why I'm not speaking about WoW at all. So if you play WoW, you could probably understand a lot of these, because I feel they're similar enough. Final Fantasy 14, most people played for the story, because the story is good. Heavensward is good. Terra, the story isn't amazing, it's kind of a backdrop to the gameplay, but the story is there, and there's something to keep you hooked on. Because, you know, there's incentive to doing the quests. It's like, hey, progress to the story, get more story information, know what's happening around the world. Final Fantasy, freaking literally story-driven game, probably the only MMO that has a main story like that. That's really good, actually. And MapleStory 2 doesn't have that. You start the game, again, you're an adventurer. They're sticking to the MapleStory 1 format with like minor side quests and minor like storyline, and it's like, it's fine, I don't mind that. My issue is, why am I doing these side quests? There's no purpose of it. Oh, I hear a police car or an ambulance. KraDeTalk, you're talking shit. But yeah, living in New York. Wee you. That's what I said, guys, I'm doing live. And, yeah, my issue, again, I said, there's no storyline, and it's not keeping me hooked on. It's something that, again, they're trying to stick to the MapleStory 1 formula, which will not work in a 3D setting. And I don't know how many times I need to say that. You know, the battle system in MapleStory 2 is decent, but it's not good. It's nothing amazing. It's nothing I've seen before. If you guys ever played Lunia, you kind of see the heavy similarities between the thief, between the warrior, and it's like, did you just rip off Lunia completely? Like, it's a good game, and I don't mind playing it. I love the music. The music in the game is probably one of the best I've heard in a while. The graphics, obviously they're not Final Fantasy Terra WoW status, they're chibis, but it's good. It's enough to keep me playing. And a lot of people are saying, you just don't understand Korean, so obviously you're not gonna like the game. And I'm just kind of like, no, not at all. I don't need to understand the game to know that there's a storyline and to get hooked by the storyline. I'm talking to this one person who wants me to pick up some like 5 pieces of wood. This person wants me to kill 10 pigs. This person wants me to kill, you know, 10 slimes. It's like, what is this story-wise? Why do I have to do it? There is none. It's just like, oh, they took my shoes. Please find my shoes. Go kill 25 pigs and I'll find my shoe. It's like, what? It's like, how am I gonna find your shoe? So yeah, if MapleStory 2 gets a coherent main storyline, it'll hook on people, it'll make people want to play, because I feel like that's a big aspect that it's missing. And you know, I still like the gameplay, but I can't just keep playing and have nothing there. That is such a, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a bad way to do a game. It's a bad way to have a game done. And especially a 3D game, especially a new game, there's so many issues. It's missing so many things. It's so quest heavy that you don't know what else to do. You can grind But my god, that grind is annoying in that game. Hit the monster once, move on to the next monster, hit it once, while the other people kill it. It's like, what? No, this isn't grinding. That's fucking stupid. Like, really? When I saw people doing that, and I did it for a little bit, I did it for like maybe 30 minutes, I got so bored. A 3D game should never be about grinding. It should be about going into dungeons. It should be about raiding. It should be going into fates. It's not meant to be do quest, and then go on and kill monsters. And not even kill them, hit them once and let fucking parties of... What? Stupid! My god! Terra does questing in a good way. Because it tells you to go here, but then it also tells you to go do a dungeon. Or it tells you to do something else. And it gets you into a new place very fast. And it's a big expansive area. Final Fantasy has fates, it has dungeons, it has raids, it has bosses, it has guild heists. There's so many ways to level in that game that it's crazy. And it's just MapleStory 2 needs to figure out what it wants to be and what it wants to do. I still think it has potential. I think it still could be amazing. But they need to up that they need to up the party experience and they need to add raids, you know, 8-player raids, 12-player raids. There's bosses, but you're not getting a lot of experience from them. There's party quests, but after you do it for the first 2 quests, like go into the party, get me these items, kill the boss, then what? The next time you're gonna do it, you don't have those quests again. You might have one, to, you know, go kill this boss and I'll give you like 5 EXP, and you need like a 2000 to level. It's like, no! That takes forever. I need to party. Me partying, me going into the dungeon should be reason enough. There should be a high amount of experience from killing the monsters, killing the boss, and completing the area. That's how it should be done. That's the formula that's been working for so long. And then they decided to nerf it in MapleStory 1 and completely destroy it in MapleStory 2. So my god, this should be KraDeRants or some shit, not KraDeTalks. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, the good things about MapleStory 2, graphically it's nice, the gameplay isn't bad, there is a variety of classes, new players are going to enjoy, but I don't know how long they're going to stay, because once you get to about level 23, 24, it gets really stale, because there's not enough skills that keep you interested. You know, there's variety of skills, like let's take the warrior, for example, or slayer, or whatever they call it, berserker, that's what it's called. You have a Q that spins, and then you have to do several auto attacks, then you have a Q that spins, and you have to do several auto attacks. That's... no? The combo system in the game isn't good. It's alright, but it's not amazing. MapleStory 1 didn't really have combos, and again, this is the biggest issue I have, is that MapleStory 2 is meant to be its own game. It's supposed to have similarities to MapleStory 1, but not be MapleStory 1. And they literally just took MapleStory and made it 3D and not improve on anything. You know, Terra has a combo system. Fucking Final Fantasy has a combo system. MapleStory 2 has such a small combo system that you're gonna stick to the same exact path. You're gonna do your attack to recover your mana or TP or GP or whatever the hell it's called, and then you're gonna use your Q to spin and do the most damage. That's what makes sense. That's what's gonna get you to a better place a lot faster. I don't think I've used any other skills besides those 2 when I played MapleStory 2 on Berserker. So what I could say that Nexon is doing right is it's still doing new content. It's still doing events in MapleStory 1, which is good. The unfunded player who spends maybe 30 minutes a day playing can do and can get some great things in events. Like right now you can get a bunch of cool things, you get scrolls. But yeah, I don't know, that's only one aspect of it. I feel like they need to focus more, like I said, on the 200 plus content. If you have a new area that it makes it feel like 200 to 250 is not a bad grind, like maybe triple the amount of experience that you get at Stronghold, but a player can solo there, a player can maybe party there and get the 50% bonus. That would be such a good idea. It's still gonna be a long time, but a player won't feel bored, they won't feel drained. They won't feel like they need to just have anime open on a window and they just press shift playing MapleStory and it kills the entire map. It's like, what? That's not a game at that point. That's you doing a hand motion the entire time while you watch something or do something else. bosses. New bosses that don't require fucking 200 mil range. Like that'd be a good idea maybe? Like Root Abyss, I could do Root Abyss normal, fine. 500k range. Chaos Root Abyss, fucking good luck. That's something that needs, again, I'm not saying make it accessible for everyone. No, I'm saying make bosses that everyone can do and then give it a hard version that, you know, players who spend a bit more in the game can use. Obviously, I still think it's stupid that you need to buy miracle cubes and just in general and shit. But what can you do? They need to make profit somehow, and I guess that's the easiest way they can do it. I still think that if it stayed cosmetic, a lot of people would have still done it. Like, avoid premium boxes. Never have made that into the game. Because that's probably making people a bunch of money, and that's why people are not buying cash items as much. Just stay with the 30 days, sorry, the permanent NX that they could buy. Fucking keep the 3-month system, but take away the cubes, and it kind of equals out. People will go into cash shop, because people do want to have, you know, new outfits that people don't have. And if you kept that system, double EXP coupons, shops, just things that like help your gameplay, but don't like directly influence your gameplay, like cool cosmetics, not really improving my damage. Having a shop, well, I could have spent in channel 1, still the same thing. So, things they could improve on, things they could do, things that they're doing right, like I said, is that they just need to do more bosses and more level 200 content, and people would be happier. And just finally, MapleStory 2, again, it's not even out in the States yet, and I'm still talking about it, is that they need to focus more on raids, parties, bosses, fates maybe, just not what they're doing now. It's such a bad system, and I do not like it. I still think that, like I said, it should be a party-based game. It should be an interactive social game. It has so much potential in a social game, and it's like, no, solo. You're doing everything solo. It's like, no. So guys, yeah, that's about it for this little episode. I don't know what else to say. I'll probably talk about League of Legends next if you guys are interested in this. If this gets bad reception, obviously I won't be doing it anymore, but this is a little bit of a test run beta. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.